everybody, welcome to the table. Today we're going to be looking at Harvest Dice, a game by Gray Fox Games. So let's go ahead and see how the game plays. Afterwards I'll come back and let you know what I think about it. Setup for Harvest Dice is very simple. You essentially take everything out of the box and set it up. Everyone will get one sheet off of the pad, everyone will get a pencil, and then you'll have your dice and your first player marker. Now inside of the box you'll notice that there are actually two different pads. One of them will have some advanced rules that will go along with it, and these are actually quite simple to add to the game, but if you play with those advanced rules you do need to use this pad. The other pad that we will be looking at here is just to be used with the base game. So let's get right into this one. In Harvest Dice you are going to be taking turns rolling and then drafting dice in order to plant the veggies in your garden or feed them to your pig. So on your turn, whoever is the first player, they will take all the dice, roll them out, and then everyone will go in round order, pick one of the dice, and then go ahead and do the action that they want with that dice. So we've got the three different colors here that you can pick from in the dice pool. Orange is for carrots, red is for tomatoes, and green is for lettuce. So when you go ahead and choose a die, so let's see here for the first one. Now the first die that you pick, you can place it anywhere. So essentially you can just grab any of the dice. And so I'm going to say, okay, so I'm going to take the 6, so that has to go in the row of the 6, and then and I can place it wherever I'd like in there. And then that one, I'm going to say I'm going to put in the middle here, so this is going to be my carrot. And then you just make any kind of shape you can to make it kind of look like that particular object. So now this die is done for this round. Now the next person's going to pick a die, and then we go on and so forth until there is only one die left. So at the end of the round, whatever color we have is the color that we have to mark off in the market. So here I've got an orange die, so everybody would go ahead and mark off the orange space for the carrot in here. So now that's kind of a very simple overview of the round here, but let's go into more specifics. So let's say I had a green 5. So now I can place that 5 actually anywhere here, because it has to be from the first space. The next space that I cover with a vegetable has to be orthogonally to that space. So essentially it means just anywhere around that area. So I could do a 5. Now if let's say I had a 3 is not orthogonally adjacent to this space, so I would have to feed that to the pig. You always try to place it in your garden first. If not, you feed it to the pig. Now what happens here, what's the importance about the pig here is that once you've filled up a row of 6, and you always go from left to right, top to bottom, once you fill the row of 6, then you have the special power. What the special power is that if you choose a die, you can choose to use 1 pip up, so a 3 to a 4, or 1 pip down, so a 3 to a 2. And then you can use that number to place in your garden, which can be very useful if you've run out of spaces. So, and then once you've used that, you cross that off, and also what that does is those are points at the end of the game. So the more of these rows you cross off, the more points you end up adding. And is also the same thing here. So at the end of the game, if you filled up an entire row of vegetables for each row that you fill, that's 5 points at the end of the game. Also, the importance about the market here is that however many of that particular vegetable that you have in your garden, you multiply the amount of, let's say here for carrots, I would multiply the amount of carrots I have here by the amount that are crossed off in the market. So for this example, I've got 2 in the market, 1 here, so that would be 2 times 1. So that would give me 2 points at the end of the game. So you would add up your points for the carrots, the lettuce, the tomatoes, and then any of your filled rows up at the top, plus any pig points from feeding the pig, and that gives you your total, and the person with the highest total wins the game. So what's my take on Harvest Dice? I like it. I give it a thumbs up because it scales very well. Obviously there's not a whole lot of a different setup from 2 to 4 players. You still use the same amount of dice. You use just an extra sheet of paper for scoring for that extra person. Everybody stays involved throughout the game. There's not really any downtime And then on top of that, it's fairly inexpensive. It plays, pretty quickly, so it's not going to be a heavy game that you're going to be spending a lot of time on, but as a filler or even as a game for game night, I definitely approve of this one. For the age range, the game is simple enough that you could probably play from 10 and up, but I wouldn't recommend too much lower than that. So it's not quite a family game, but you can definitely have some older children play it with you as well. So I like this game. I definitely recommend it to everybody. It's easy to play, easy to teach, easy to bring with you. It comes in a small package, so definitely thumbs up, and hope to see you again at the table for our next review. Thanks.